Thank you. And what I'm going to do to the Hirsch family, I'm going to ask you to just, if you could stay another moment or two, we're going to put this on hold and go directly to Mr. Koretz's presentation. I don't want them to be standing up there. They have live animals, and I think we should be sensitive to that. Mr. Koretz, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Mr. President. Yes, we have some impatient puppies up here and some dogs as well. So, welcome to World Spay Day, the day when animal lovers all over the planet remind us that spay and neuter is one of the most important tools available to combat pet overpopulation and the various forms of abuse and cruelty that flow naturally from having too many homeless pets in the community. The city of Los Angeles has been one of the country's leaders in prioritizing spay and neuter as a way to reduce euthanasia in our animal shelters and deal with the number of stray animals on the streets of the city. Since the 1970s, the city has tried to increase spay-neuter with its in-shelter clinics and subsidy vouchers. In 2000, we instituted differential dog licensing to incentivize spay and neuter. In 2008, we approved one of the most comprehensive spay-neuter laws in the United States. And all the while, we've been subsidizing thousands of spay-neuter surgeries a year for pets all over parts of LA via contracting with mobile clinics run by dedicated organizations and compassionate vets, and having our own city veterinarians and private veterinarians help out as well. LA ended our version of the debate over whether to require spay-neuter or promote spay and neuter by doing both. And lo and behold, the number of animals killed in our shelters over the last couple decades has dropped from around 70,000 to around 10,000. Clearly, spay and neuter works. It reduces animal cruelty, and spay and neuter saves lives. We're fortunate to have a number of wonderful partners in acknowledging World Spay Day and the effort to reduce the number of homeless animals in Los Angeles. Three of them, Spay for LA, the Amanda Foundation, and the Lucy Pet Foundation, have their mobile clinics parked outside on Main Street to show off their contributions to the partnership. You should take a few minutes to go down and tour the clinics when you have a chance. Also, each of these organizations are represented up here with me today, along with our Department of Animal Services and the promoter of World Spay Day, the Humane Society of the United States. Also, I'd like to give a shout out to the Found Animals organization for their support in providing free and low-cost spay and neuter. And I'd like to ask each of them to say a few words, beginning with our General Manager, Brenda Barnett of Animal Services.
You know what? Before I have a member that would like to say a few words, Mr. Bloomingfield.
Thank you very much, and I really wanted to thank Mr. Koretz for bringing this presentation today. It's so important. I was touring the mobile clinics just prior to this. I want to thank all the nonprofits that have been part of this and coming to City Hall. It's an important issue. I know it's something that people are extremely passionate about because of the issue, and when I dealt with it in the state level, I don't think I saw so many people descending on the Capitol. These organizations are often overloaded with animals that are unwanted, and it's sad, and it's important that we take care of our animals. But I also wanted to make sure that folks knew this is also an economic issue, and we need to look at both our passionate and our heart, and also look at our pocketbooks. LA Animal Services has to spend a lot of its budget just on managing the litters of animals that are unwanted or found. If we took care of our pets, if people stopped giving thousands of dollars to breeders and instead rescued beautiful pets from the shelter or one of these adoption organizations, we could put our tax dollars to all sorts of other uses. And some of the statistics are staggering. Each year in the U.S., approximately 2.7 million animals are euthanized, 1.2 million dogs, 1.4 million cats. Of the dogs entering shelters, almost 35% are adopted, 31 are euthanized, and 26% of the dogs came in as strays or returned to their owners. It's staggering when you realize the numbers. So I just want to add to the presentation, let folks know if you're thinking of getting a pet, adopt one. They're pure breeds, mixed breeds, up for adoption. They need a home. Dispel the myth that you can't get a healthy pet from the shelter. I know my family and I did. We got a rescue dog last year. His name is Brush, and we love him, and he's adorable. I want to thank all of you again for coming together, and Mr. Koretz for continuing to shed light on this important issue. Thank you.
Well said, Mr. Blumenfield. Well said. And Mr. Kretz, basically, I will say ditto on that. And I'm proud of you. And it's just always cool to see so many people that genuinely care about our four-legged friends. So just know that I love you all. Continue to do the good work. Mr. O'Farrell.
Thank you, Mr. President. I also want to echo what Bob just said in terms of adopt. As hard as it is to go to a shelter sometimes and see so many animals in need, it's kind of heartbreaking, but I urge anyone who's watching this show and who's thinking about involving or including an animal in their lives and within their family, please, please go to a shelter and adopt a shelter animal from one of our 7 shelters across the city. I just want to acknowledge you also, Mr. Koretz, for bringing this presentation forward, and you, Brenda Barnett, for all of the work that you've done in reducing the euthanasia rate. But 10,000 is still way too many. We need to get to 0 kill. Not just no kill, but 0 kill across the city of Los Angeles. None of us should rest until we reach that goal. And then lastly, I just want to say that all of the people standing with Councilmember Koretz are doing God's work. You are doing God's work by standing up and advocating for those who have no voice whatsoever. And that's what it's all about. And that's what we all need to get in the game on and really value, treasure, and protect our animal companions. So thank you for this presentation. And Terry Austin, I've known Terry Austin from the Amanda Foundation since the 1990s. So Terry, great work. And Danny Trejo, it's great to have you here in council chambers, a wonderful character actor who's holding one of the recently spayed animals up for adoption. Look at these adorable 4 puppies. Adopt them. Anyone who's watching, adopt these 4 puppies. They need a home. Thank you.
All right. You did okay, Mitch. A little more practice, and you did okay. A little more practice than whenever I'm out, you can fill in for me when we try to get the dogs adopted. With that said, I want to defer back to Mr. Koretz.
Thank you, Mr. President, and thank you for all the dog adoptions that you've done over the years that you've been council president and here on the council. And now I'd like to hear from Brenda Barnett, our Director of Animal Services.
Welcome.
Thank you. I'm going to be very brief because I want our partners who do this very important spay-neuter work to have an opportunity to speak. And I just want to say to Councilmember Koretz and the rest of the council, thank you for recognizing what an important social and economic issue we deal with companion animals. They're family members, they're loved, and we need to do everything we can for them. And you make it possible for us to do that. And I do believe this is the City of Angels, and thank you for your efforts to make it that.
Thank you.
Now I'd like to ask Amy Galbraith on behalf of Found Animals and Spay for LA to say a few words.
Welcome.
Hello, Mr. President and council members. It is an honor to be here as always, and I just want to say how grateful we are to have elected officials in Los Angeles that care about animal welfare in general and spay and neuter in particular. We love working with you. We put about $1 million of funding into the fantastic organizations here today, including Spay for LA, and we've done such a great job in the last 10 years. There's so many more subsidized services available, and for dogs, we're doing really well. We see less and less puppies in the shelter, and when we do see puppies in the shelter, they get adopted, which is fantastic. Unfortunately, our cats and kittens still struggle, and here in the next couple of months, kitten season will be upon us, and shelters and adoption groups and foster programs all over the city will be absolutely flooded with underage baby kittens, and unfortunately, that is still the group of animals that has to be euthanized in our shelter system by the thousands. So of those 10,000 animals that aren't making it out alive yet, about 4,000 of them are underage kittens. So that's where we have a lot more work to do with spay and neuter, and we look forward to doing that. And we're very glad to have Danny here because, you know, it's a great thing to see. We love men who love pets. Let's just say that. And these guys were customers of Spay for LA. They've just been neutered. They're all boys. And for anybody who is interested in adopting these cuties, they will be available for adoption in a couple of days at Adopt and Shop. So that's where you can come see them. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so very much.
Now I'd like to ask Terry Austin from Amanda Foundation to say a few words.
Thank you, Councilman Koretz. And we're so lucky that in Los Angeles we do have a council that does understand the importance that animals are to their families. Councilman Wesson, you were there at the old South LA shelter 10 years ago when we were doing our spay-neuter programs there. And Councilman O'Farrell has always been behind us. And it's really great that you guys support us and realize the importance of it. The spay-neuter programs, they're the best in the country here in LA. Our free programs are unparalleled, and every year they get better and bigger, and we need that continued support so that we can get the word out, because like most of society's problems, a little education is the cure, and that's what we're trying to do, is get into the communities and educate. The Amanda Foundation has started a new program. We're now doing pop-up wellness clinics. We did one in Councilman Huszar's district, and we did another in Councilman Buscanino's. It was called Wellness and Wags for Watts, where we offered x-rays and dental and blood and work, and we had over 20 volunteer veterinarians and 40 volunteer vet techs. And the reason for that is the intervention to help people to keep their animals from entering the shelter because of medical issues. So when we can be adopting, when we can be spay and neutering, and when we can do intervention, we can solve this problem and be the template and the leader in the country for a shelter that exists to give out licenses and provide training. And that's what our goal is. Thank you.
Well said, by the way. Well said.
And now I'd like to acknowledge from the Lucy Pet Foundation, Doc Halligan, and I believe Joey Herrick will be the one speaking. Oops. Where are they?
Thank you. I've met some of you don't know me. I just want to give you a little background and how animals have really changed my life. I used to own a pet food company, and I used to donate millions of pounds to all the animal rescue groups, because when I had my pet food company, I felt that it was the animal rescue people who were going into the shelters. They were taking dogs off death row and finding homes for them. So I donated millions of pounds of food. I sold my company. I didn't have millions of pounds of food anymore, so I decided I was going to start a pet foundation and actually have mobile spay and neuter. So to date, I've spent $1.8 million on spay and neuter. And when I first started it, I used to drive the bus, and I would go to the shelters, and then I would see what's happening at the shelters. We'd be parked at a shelter for a week, and the influx that was coming in cardboard boxes, it was hard to handle. I'd actually be driving home and I'd be crying seeing what's going on because there's so many animals. But I'd get home and I'd see my animals, and I knew that I had to continue with this. And I urge all of you to get into the shelters and see what's going on and really realize that the only way to really change anything is to stop the influx. Yes, we can be no-kill. Shelters don't want to, nobody in the shelter system wants to kill animals, but you've got to stop the influx. And so by supporting the spay and neuter that you're doing, thank you so much for doing that. I will continue to support spay and neuter and keep putting money into it. And by all of us uniting with that, we can stop it. So thank you for everything you guys are doing. And also, all of us here, I don't make a dollar from this. I put money into it. Everybody behind us, we're all doing this because we love animals and we want to see the euthanasia rates change, and that's what we're all about. And thank you for acknowledging it.
Thank you.
And now we'd like Courtney Fern from the Humane Society to say a few words.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for having us here. I'd like to thank Councilmember Koretz for hosting this great program, and for the organizations that are providing their services today for spay and neutering, the Amanda Foundation, Spay for LA, and the Lucy Pet Foundation. I just want to thank the council for being so supportive of this very important issue and all of the work that you've been doing to help pets and homeless animals within the city of Los Angeles. So thank you.
And lastly, we'd like to hear from our honored guest, Danny Trejo, who is not only a well-known actor that has appeared a few times here in City Hall before, but now a purveyor of vegan tacos on La Brea.
Yeah, vegan tacos in my district on La Brea and Olympic on the east side of the street, which should be opening soon.
Absolutely. In fact, I want to talk to you after.
You can, yeah.
My name's Danny Trejo. First of all, I want to thank this council for all the work they do. You guys are like unbelievable. I've been to cities all over the state, all over the United States, and this is like the bomb right here. It's like awesome. The work that you do with Spay for LA, the work that you do with all these organizations, that's what we need. Right now, we've just neutered 6 puppies. That means that there's going to be like 10,000 puppies that aren't going to be run over or abandoned or euthanized, because these 6 puppies, they'll have 6 puppies, and those 6 puppies will have 6 puppies. You'd be surprised, puppies are cute, but they get big and they have puppies, and then all of a sudden you've got 8 puppies in an apartment. So
yeah,
it doesn't work, you know. So I just want to thank you. I want to thank you for all the help you do, and you know, I'll keep working, and they will too. Thank you so much.
Now, thank you. Let's give them all another round of applause.
And as you can see, this is all a great group effort. It takes compassion on behalf of the entire community to make the kind of progress that we're making in Los Angeles, and we should all be very proud of it. But the work never ends. Spay and neuter is the right thing to do, and it's the law, so go forth and stop the multiplication. And I have certificates to present to a few of our guests here. And I will open them up and see which one is which. Let's start with Danny Trejo.
Thank you.
And Spay for LA. Humane Society. Let's see if I can read this. Lucy Pet Foundation. And the Amanda Foundation. There you go.
Smile. Thank you again to all of you, and thank you, Mr. Koretz. Okay, Madam Clerk, can we now go back to item 28? And I'd like to call on, I think it was Mr. Bloomingfield. We're back on, let's wait a second. Hey, Jess. Okay, now, if we could go back to item 28, I would like to recognize Mr. Bob Bloomingfield.
Great, thank you.
And thank you to the Hirsch family for staying some extra time with us. Thank you.
Thank you, and thank you for not only staying some extra time, for coming back a second time. I know you were here the last time, so you guys are really dedicated. And I just wanted to thank Mr. Huizar for bringing this motion forward and to underscore how important your father, your grandfather, was to Los Angeles and to the community at large, philanthropy, to the Jewish community. I mean, I can't say it enough. I mean, he was a foundation for the Jewish community, you know, through the Federation, through the Jewish Journal, through helping many, many candidates, including myself. You know, your mother was one of my very first supporters, and I'm extremely grateful for her support and her friendship over all these years. So I just wanted to underscore what Mr. Huizar said, to emphasize how important I think it is and how great it is that we're naming the square after him. That square could be named anywhere in the city. It's appropriate in the Fashion District because of his work as a garment manufacturer, but when it comes to the real estate, when it comes to the impact on the community, and especially on the Jewish community, it's really his accomplishments were legion, and the mark he's left behind is legendary. So I just wanted to join Mr. Huizar in urging everyone's support for this, and to thank you for coming again today.
Okay, Mr. Krikorian.
Thank you very much, Mr. President, and thank you very much, Mr. Huizar. I just wanted to echo some of the comments about the contributions of Stanley Hirsch to Southern California in being a trailblazing leader in an industry that Los Angeles continues to really be a dominant force in the world. And it's an area that we have so much opportunity for continued growth and jobs creation, in large measure to the pioneering work that Stanley Hirsch did and the investments that Stanley Hirsch did. But beyond that, as Mr. Blumenfield has just pointed out, this was a man who was not only a giant in industry, but also someone who had a deep and abiding commitment to community. And that commitment and those values have clearly been passed on to his children, and I want to thank his legacy continues to go on, not only in his wife Anita, but also in his children Steve and Elizabeth, who continue to contribute so much in our community, and everything that matters in our area of Studio City, they are in some way involved, whether it's caring for the homeless, support for our schools, support for our environment, community improvement, and improvement of our quality of life. The Hirsches have a role, and I just want to say thank you. It's a real tribute to your father that those values have been passed on to you, and it's a continuing legacy that we all benefit from. So, Mr. Huizar, thank you for this recognition of Stanley Hirsch, and thank you to the Hirsch family for your continuing commitment to Los Angeles.
Okay, thank you. Let's prepare to vote. Let's open the roll, close the roll, tabulate the vote.
15 ayes.
Okay, that's approved. Okay, Mr. Walsh, please come forward. We're going to do items 34 through 29 or 29 through 34. So come forward, and I'm going to give you your... At 29, 30, 31, 32, and 34. Come on.
I apologize for taking so long to get up here. I'm a cripple. John Walsh, blogging at HollywoodHighlands.org or J. Walsh Confidential. Item 29, emergency management to work with neighborhood councils to ensure earthquake preparedness. We are totally unprepared for an earthquake. The mayor should be spending every single weekend here working on earthquake preparedness to try to catch the Olympics. But the mayor does not spend every weekend. He spends weekends campaigning for Hillary Clinton.
No, let's stay on the subject, Mr. Walsh.
That's the subject. Next issue is item 30, and this is to combat cyber crimes perpetrated in the city. This is the worst victimized city in America for cyber crimes. 11-year-old, reasonably intelligent Chinese children in Hong Kong can crack this system open because nobody's interested in anything except being the mayor's pet. Number 31. This is red flag warning from the base of Santa Monica. Receive and file amending the red flag warning to protect numerous substandard streets in these hillside neighborhoods. There is only one way to protect the streets in the hillside, the dead-end streets, because if there's a big fire, they're going to be trapped. They were trapped 30 years ago when we had a big fire, and you've added about twice the development up there. There is only one way to protect these people, and your little red flags aren't going to do it, and that is suspension of all major skyscraper development in L.A., and especially in West L.A. and Hollywood. That's the only way you're going to do it. Number 32 is monitoring and enforcement standards regarding registered sex offenders. Well, our problem here is not the registered sex offenders. There's the unregistered sex offenders. And I say it now, and I want one person in this room to say it otherwise. If you're a white woman, if you're a black woman or an Hispanic woman and you get raped, the cops don't give a damn. But if you're white and Jewish on the West Side, it becomes the most important reason on earth for it. And nobody deserves less credit for this. All the credit for this is the racist blacks and Hispanics on this board, whose number one job is to watch out for white people and registered sex offenders. How many registered sex offenders? They never mention how many registered sex offenders there are. And for every registered sex offender, there's 15 or 20 out there raping white women. You don't read about the white and black women as much as white women, and Hispanic and Asian women as much as the others. That is the fact. Next, number 34. This is the Vandalism and Graffiti Trust Fund. Well, I don't trust you. Come to Hollywood and see it splattered all over Hollywood Boulevard. It doesn't get wiped out. The only thing that gets wiped out in L.A. are the people from Poison SoCal Gas. Status of vandalism and graffiti, I can tell you now. Trust me, the status of the vandalism is plenty of money and plenty of jobs to sit here in the office and do absolutely nothing. This is the most graffiti-splattered city in America, in the world, and I challenge anybody from the Olympics in Switzerland, where my great-great-grandfather was born. I challenge any of them to come to Hollywood and be appalled, because when they're brought here by their nose to look around, and they're not shown the graffiti-splattered neighborhoods here. It's vomitous. And, of course, none of it on the goddamn West
Whoa,
Side,
keep it down.
Well,
Don't break
Jews
our... Mr. Walsh, do not holler into our equipment, okay? It takes a toll on our translators.